Now, one of the other wonderful features that Edius has in 3D is the ability to change your view. Now, we're going to go here to stereoscopic mode, and let's take a look. You can have left only, right only, difference, blend, top, bottom, anaglyph, line, interleave, side by side, dual stream, split grid. For adjusting, I like using the blend. Another one that's very, very good for being able to adjust your stereo is the difference mode. And this gives you a difference map that shows you where your separations are and how far apart they are. Okay, let's drop in the stereo adjuster on this. We're just going to drop it into the information bin. Let's double click on it. Let's click auto trimming and rectify. And notice there was a bit of a jump there. What wound up happening is we adjusted zoom, which is our auto trimming again. It adjusted the vertical and it adjusted the keystone and corrected both of them automatically for you. Again, leaving you to just go ahead and adjust your negative and positive on your inner axial for your parallax for how much you want separation. Now, one of the other things, that's why this comes in handy for looking at it. Let's turn that off for a second. Let's go back here to view and take a look. Stereoscopic mode. You can look at this in anaglyph, red, blue. If you've got red and blue glasses and you don't have a monitor that can show you 3D, it's very difficult to do without having a good preview monitor, I will tell you, but it does give you that ability. And again, let's open up our adjustment, and you can see your red and blue changes. And you can do side by side. Now, another thing is that you do have a monitor. For instance, I've got both a Panasonic 3D monitor and an LG. And when you right-click on that monitor, you will get a drop-down. And that drop-down gives you the ability to go ahead and adjust your stereoscopic mode separately. There's top, bottom. And gives you plenty of choices. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is going to be floating stereoscopic windows. And what that entails is, as you look at a scene, if you don't frame it properly, now these are behind the scene shots that we did with our little Sony camera. This is my beautiful wife Bee, dressed up like an eagle hunter. And you notice we've got a little bit, if you were to look at this shot in 3D, let's change that stereoscopic view. And let's look at it in blend mode. If you look at this on a 3D TV, you're going to see that you've got a little bit of retinal rivalry going on. You've got an edge violation. You've got a little bit of edge violation going on here. So then what you have to do is you have to use a technique called a floating stereoscopic window. And Edius lets you do this very easily. Now, what does a floating stereoscopic window do? Basically, you adjust the right clip, which is the clip that's underneath. The left sits on top, the right is underneath. And what you do is you move over and create kind of a vacuum. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to go here. I'm dropping down the right-hand side. I'm going to go to the left mask on the right clip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the value. And you notice this little shadow that's occurring. What's happening is I'm physically making the right-hand clip smaller, so that for that little instance of area, you're only seeing 2D. And so your eye is not trying to see both images. What's happening is I'm missing part of the second image that I need in order to make this a good 3D shot. Notice over here we don't have that problem because basically there's nothing there that's violating the edge. We've created a nice clean edge here. So in this case, we only need to apply this to the left-hand side of the right image. And if I click OK, I now have, there's my view. And there it goes through. And it can stay throughout the whole thing, but the real meaning of floating is just that we enable this, and we only need to enable just that one. And we click on our keyframe. And as the shot changes, we may not need it later on. So over here, for instance, We don't need that anymore because we don't have an edge violation. We've got a nice clean area. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to take it back down to 0. So I'm going to highlight these 3 numbers, just hit in 0, hit my tab key, and I've now created an area where when this comes over, by the time it gets to here, my floating window has disappeared. Okay, now we're working with our project here, and we're going to show you